Hey there, have you ever wondered why some people seem to command respect effortlessly while others struggle to gain the admiration and esteem of those around them? It can feel like some folks walk into a room and instantly have the attention, the respect, the admiration of everyone around them. And maybe you're sitting there wondering, what do they have that I don't? Well, today I'm here to shed some light on 4 habits that might be sabotaging your efforts to earn the respect you deserve. These habits can creep into your life without you even realizing it, slowly eroding the foundation of respect that you've worked so hard to build. But don't worry, because by the end of this, you have the knowledge and tools to identify and eliminate these respect-killing habits from your life once and for all. Now, before we get into the details, let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you felt disrespected or undervalued by others? Maybe it was at work, where your colleagues dismissed your ideas without even giving them a fair shot. Or maybe it was in your personal life, with friends or family, who consistently talked over you, ignored your opinions, or just made you feel small. If you've been there, you know how frustrating and demoralizing it is to feel like you're not being given the respect you deserve. But here's the truth: respect isn't something that's handed out freely. It's not something you can demand or something someone owes you. Respect is earned through your actions, your words, and the way you carry yourself. And unfortunately, there are certain habits, certain ways of thinking and behaving that can quickly derail your efforts to gain respect, no matter how hard you try. These habits are like silent assassins, slowly chipping away at your credibility and making it harder for others to see you as someone worthy of their admiration and esteem. So what are these 4 habits that make people disrespect you? Let's get into it. And trust me, by the time we're done, you'll have a new appreciation for the power of your own actions and the impact they can have on the way others perceive you. The first habit that can make people disrespect you is a lack of integrity. Integrity is the foundation upon which respect is built. It's the quality of being honest, trustworthy, and consistent in your actions and words. When you lack integrity, people start to question your motives and your reliability. They begin to wonder if they can trust you to follow through on your commitments, or if you'll say one thing and do another. Think about it this way: if you consistently make promises that you don't keep, or if you're caught in lies or half-truths, how can anyone trust you? How can they respect you when they don't know if they can believe a word that comes out of your mouth? Integrity is like the glue that holds your relationships together. Without it, everything falls apart. So, if you want to earn the respect of those around you, you need to make integrity a non-negotiable part of your character. You need to be honest, even when it's difficult. You need to follow through on your commitments, even when it's inconvenient. And you need to be consistent in your actions, even when no one is watching. But here's the thing: integrity isn't something you can fake. It's not a mask you can put on when it's convenient and take off when it's not. It's a way of life, a commitment to being the best version of yourself, even when it's hard. And when you live with integrity, people notice. They see you as someone they can trust, someone they can count on, and someone they can respect. Now, the second habit that can make people disrespect you is a lack of self-respect. I know what you might be thinking: wait a minute, I thought this was about earning the respect of others, not about respecting myself. But here's the thing: the way you treat yourself is a reflection of how you expect others to treat you. If you constantly put yourself down, if you engage in negative self-talk, or if you allow others to walk all over you, what message are you sending to the world? You're telling people that you don't value yourself, that you don't believe you're worthy of respect. And if you don't respect yourself, how can you expect anyone else to respect you? Self-respect is about setting boundaries, standing up for yourself, and treating yourself with the same kindness and compassion that you would extend to a dear friend. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than you deserve. And let me tell you, people notice how you treat yourself. When you carry yourself with confidence, when you refuse to let people take advantage of you, when you demand respect through your actions, people start to see you differently. They see you as someone who is strong, someone who is self-assured, as someone who is worthy of their respect. But here's the kicker: self-respect isn't just about being confident and standing up for yourself. It's also about holding yourself accountable. You've got to take responsibility for your own actions, for your own life. If you mess up, own it. If you make a mistake, learn from it. Don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself or making excuses. Nobody respects that. People respect those who take charge of their own lives, who don't let setbacks define them. So if you want to be respected by others, start by respecting yourself. The third habit that can make people disrespect you is inconsistency. Now, I know we live in a world that's constantly changing, but that doesn't mean you should be changing your values, your principles, or the way you treat people every 5 minutes. When you're inconsistent, people don't know what to expect from you. 1 minute you're reliable and dependable, then the next minute you're flaky and unpredictable. And let me tell you, that kind of inconsistency erodes trust. And once trust is gone, respect follows right behind it. People respect those who are steady, who are consistent in their words and actions. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you make a commitment, follow through. Don't be the kind of person who's constantly changing with the wind, who's swayed by every little thing that comes along. Stand firm in who you are and what you believe in and how you treat others. When you're consistent, people know they can count on you. They know what you stand for, and they respect that. And finally, the fourth habit that can make people disrespect you is playing the victim. Let me tell you something: playing the victim is a surefire way to lose respect. Nobody respects someone who's constantly blaming others for their problems, who's always looking for someone or something to blame when things go wrong. Life is tough and we all face challenges, but how you respond to those challenges is what defines you. You can either let those challenges break you, or you can rise above them and show the world what you're made of. People respect those who take responsibility for their own lives, who don't make excuses, who don't blame others for their circumstances. When you play the victim, you're giving away your power. You're saying, I had no control over my life, over my situation. But when you take ownership, when you stand up and say, I'm in control of my life and I'm going to make the best of it, that's when people start to respect you. So there you have it. These are the 4 habits that can destroy the respect you've so hard to earn: a lack of integrity, a lack of self-respect, inconsistency, and playing the victim. These habits are like poison, slowly eating away at your credibility and making it harder for people to see you as someone worthy of respect. But the good news is that you have the power to change. You have the power to eliminate these habits from your life and start earning the respect you deserve. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take work. You're going to have to be honest with yourself, hold yourself accountable, and make a conscious effort to live with integrity, to respect yourself, to be consistent, and to take responsibility for your life. But I promise you, if you do that, people will start to see you differently. They'll start to see you as someone they can trust, someone they can admire, someone they can respect. And that, my friends, is worth more than anything else. But when you have self-respect, it shows in every step you take. You walk with purpose, you're held high because deep down, you know who you are. It's not about arrogance, it's about confidence. You carry yourself differently when you know your worth. You don't let situations or people make you feel small, because you've already decided that you deserve better than that. You're not afraid to say no, to speak up when something doesn't sit right with you, or to walk away from things that don't align with your values. And let me tell you, that's a powerful place to be. When you respect yourself, people can feel it. You don't even have to say a word sometimes, because they can sense it in the way you move, the way you speak, and the way you interact with the world. They know instinctively that you're not someone to mess with, not someone to take lightly. You've set your standards. You've drawn your line in the sand. And people will rise to meet those standards if they want to be in your life. That's the thing about respect. It begins with you. If you don't hold yourself to a certain standard, how can you expect anyone else to? But when you do, something shifts. People start treating you differently. They understand that if they want to be around you, they've got to treat you with the respect you give yourself. They'll think twice before they talk down to you or before they try to take advantage of your kindness. You become someone they admire, not because you demand it, but because your actions and the way you carry yourself command it. That leads us to another crucial point: empathy. You see, respect isn't just about what people think of you. It's also about how you treat others. A lack of empathy can quickly make people lose respect for you. Empathy is about seeing the world through someone else's eyes, feeling their pain, their struggles, their joys. It's about stepping outside of your own little bubble and realizing that everyone's fighting their own battles. Without empathy, you come off as cold, disconnected, maybe even selfish. And that's not a trait that inspires admiration or respect. Think back to a time when someone showed no empathy. Maybe it was a boss who didn't care about the work you put in, or a friend who didn't bother to ask how you were doing when you clearly gone through something tough. How did that make you feel? Did you walk away from those interactions feeling seen and valued, or did it leave a bitter taste in your mouth? Chances are it's the latter. And that's how others will feel about you if you don't take the time to show them empathy. When you lack empathy, you might not even realize the damage you're doing. You might be so wrapped up in your own world that you don't see the hurt you're causing. But people remember that. They remember how you made them feel. And if they feel dismissed or unimportant, they'll lose respect for you. It's not just about being nice or polite. It's about genuinely caring for other people's well-being. It's about listening, really listening, when someone speaks. It's about understanding that their perspective is just as valid as yours, even if you don't always agree with it. When you show empathy, you build connections, you strengthen relationships. People feel seen, heard, and valued, and that's when respect naturally follows. They'll remember how you took the time to listen, how you cared about what they had to say, and how you put yourself in their shoes. And believe me, that goes a long way. Another thing that people don't often think about, but that plays a massive role in earning respect, is self-awareness. Without self-awareness, it's like you're moving through life blindfolded, unaware of the impact your actions have on the people around you. And nothing destroys respect faster than someone who has no idea how they're coming across. Imagine you're in a conversation with someone who interrupts every time you try to speak. They're so caught up in their own thoughts, their own need to be heard, that they don't even realize they're stepping all over you. It's frustrating, right? Or think about that person who always makes everything about themselves. No matter what's going on, they somehow manage to turn the conversation back to their life, their problems, their successes. That's a lack of self-awareness in action, and it's exhausting to deal with. Now flip that around. How often do you stop and reflect on how your behavior affects the people around you? Are you aware of when you might be taking up too much space in a conversation, or when your actions might be hurting someone, even unintentionally? Self-awareness is key to earning respect, because it shows that you're not just living for yourself, you're conscious of how you're affecting the people around you. Self-awareness is about being willing to look in the mirror and ask the hard questions. Am I really listening when people talk to me? Am I being as supportive as I could be? Am I treating the people in my life with the respect they deserve? When you have that level of awareness, people notice. They see that you're not just operating on autopilot, that you're intentional in your actions and thoughtful in how you move through the world. That's how respect is built. It's important to remember that self-awareness doesn't come naturally to everyone, but it can be developed. It takes time and effort, but the rewards are worth it. When you're self-aware, you become more empathetic, more compassionate, and more in tune with the people around you. You stop making everything about yourself, and that shift can change the way people see you in a big way. So, let's bring this all together. If you want to earn respect, it starts with how you live your life. It starts with your integrity, being honest, keeping your word, and doing the right thing even when it's hard. It starts with self-respect, knowing your worth, setting boundaries, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It starts with empathy, showing up for others, listening and caring about their experiences. And it starts with self-awareness, being conscious of how your actions impact those around you, and making the effort to be better. Respect isn't something you can demand, and it's not something that's given freely. It's earned through the choices you make every single day. The beautiful thing is that once you start living in a way that commands respect, it becomes effortless. You don't have to chase after it or beg for it. It just flows to you naturally, because people recognize when someone is worthy of their admiration. Respect is a two-way street. You can't expect to be respected if you're not giving it out in return to yourself and to others. It's about how you treat people when no one's watching. It's about the little things, keeping your word, showing up on time, listening when someone's talking to you. Those small actions build the foundation of respect over time. And when you live in alignment with your values, when you stay true to yourself, respect follows. So, if you've been struggling to earn the respect of others, take a step back and ask yourself, what habits might be getting in the way? Are you living with integrity? Do you respect yourself enough to set boundaries and demand better? Are you showing empathy to the people in your life? And are you aware of how your actions impact those around you? Once you start addressing these areas, you'll see a change. People will begin to treat you differently because you're treating yourself differently. You'll find that respect isn't something you have to fight for. It's something that flows naturally when you live with integrity, self-respect, empathy, and self-awareness. Now imagine being that person, the one who goes through life without any awareness of how their words and actions are perceived by others. Imagine consistently offending or alienating people without even realizing it. Think about how that would impact your relationships, your work, and your ability to earn respect. It's like being a bull in a china shop, crashing through life, ever considering the damage you might be causing. When you lack self-awareness, you miss out on the opportunity to grow, to understand how others see you, and to improve yourself. That, my friends, is a huge blind spot. Self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth. It's the bedrock of becoming better not just for yourself but for everyone you encounter. When you lack self-awareness, you can't see the areas where you need improvement. You can't understand why people react to you the way they do, and you don't realize how your behaviors might be pushing people away. When you're self-aware, you're able to objectively look at yourself. You begin to recognize the impact you have on those around you, and you're willing to make adjustments when necessary. That's the power of being in tune with yourself. Here's the thing, self-awareness doesn't come natural to most people. It takes work, serious work. It's not something you develop overnight. It requires looking in the mirror sometimes with brutal honesty and accepting the things you might not like about yourself. You need to seek feedback from others, not just from people who tell you what you want to hear, but from those who'll be real with you. And then you have to be willing to change, to grow, to evolve. But let me tell you, when you put in that work, the payoff is incredible. You become a better communicator because you understand how your words land on other people. You become a better leader because you know how to motivate and inspire others, not just based on your own assumptions, but because you've taken the time to understand their perspectives. You become a better friend, a better spouse, a better human being. And when you're that person, you naturally attract respect. People see that you've taken the time to work on yourself and they respond to that. They know you're not just out for yourself, and they respect the effort you put into becoming the best version of you. Respect starts with you. It's not about demanding that others respect you. It's about living in a way that earns it. You can't control what others think, but you can control how you show up in the world. And when you show up as someone who respects themselves, who's aware of their actions, and who's committed to living with integrity, respect will follow. It's not a maybe, it's a certainty. People keep on respect someone who respects themselves. Now here's something a lot of folks don't want to hear. Self-awareness is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because it forces you to confront your flaws. It makes you question your assumptions and face the things you've been ignoring. But discomfort is where growth happens. If you're always comfortable, you're never going to change. And if you never change, you're never going to grow. Personal growth is like climbing a mountain. It's hard. It's steep. Sometimes it feels like you're not making any progress, but every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to the top. So, if you want to earn the respect of others, start by cultivating self-awareness. Ask yourself tough questions. Reflect on how your actions affect others. Pay attention to how people respond to you. Do they seem distant? Do they shut down when you speak? Do they look for ways to avoid you? If so, it's time to take a closer look at how you're showing up in the world. It's not about beating yourself up or feeling guilty. It's about growth. It's about making the decision to do better because you can. But self-awareness isn't just about knowing your weaknesses. It's also about recognizing your strengths. When you're self-aware, you understand what you bring to the table. You know what you're good at, and you can leverage those strengths to build stronger relationships and to achieve your goals. Self-awareness isn't about focusing on the negative. It's about being honest with yourself about the good, the bad, and everything in between. That honesty is what makes self-awareness so powerful. When you're honest with yourself, you're able to see your life more clearly. You stop blaming others for your problems, and you start taking responsibility for your own actions. You stop playing the victim, and you start becoming the hero of your own story. And that's when real change happens. Now I know there are some folks out there who are thinking, but I've been trying to earn respect for years and it just hasn't happened. What makes you so sure that self-awareness and integrity will make a difference? Their question. Here's the thing, earning respect isn't easy. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not like flipping a switch where one day people don't respect you and the next day they do. It's a process. It's about consistently showing up as your best self day in and day out. You've got to be patient. Respect is something that builds over time. It's not about quick wins. It's about playing the long game. You may not see the results right away, but I guarantee you, if you stay committed to the process, things will change. It might start with something small, like a colleague who suddenly starts paying more attention when you speak, or a friend who goes out of their way to show you kindness and support. But over time, these small changes add up. You'll start to notice that people are more willing to collaborate with you, to seek out your opinions, and to treat you with the dignity and respect that you deserve. But here's the part a lot of folks miss. Earning respect isn't just about what you get from others. It's also about what you give. When you live with integrity, when you treat yourself and others with respect, when you cultivate empathy and self-awareness, you become a force for good in the world. You inspire others to be their best selves. You create a ripple effect that touches everyone you encounter. Think about it. When you're around someone who respects themselves, who's self-aware and empathetic, don't you feel inspired to rise to that same level? Don't you feel more motivated to be kind, to be thoughtful, to be your best self? That's the impact you have when you live with integrity. You create a culture of respect not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. And that, my friends, is the key. Respect isn't a one-way street. It's not about demanding that others treat you a certain way. It's about creating an environment where respect is the natural byproduct of how you live your life. It's about showing up as the best version of yourself, not just for you, but for everyone you encounter. So my challenge to you today is this. Take a hard look at yourself. Ask yourself if you're living with integrity. Ask yourself if you're respecting yourself and others. Are you cultivating empathy? Are you aware of how your actions impact those around you? And if you're falling short in any of these areas, don't beat yourself up. Personal growth is a journey, not a destination. Commit to making small changes every day. Start by being honest with yourself, even when it's hard. Treat yourself with the same kindness and compassion you would extend to a dear friend. Listen to others. Understand their perspective, seek out feedback, and be willing to make changes when necessary. When you do these things, when you make integrity, self-respect, empathy, and self-awareness a non-negotiable part of your life, respect will follow. It will become a natural byproduct of how you show up in the world. You'll inspire others to be their best selves, and you'll create a culture of kindness, compassion, and understanding that touches everyone around you. Now, I'm saying this is easy. It takes time, it takes effort. But the rewards are worth it. When you live with integrity and self-awareness, when you respect yourself and others, you'll find that your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. You'll build stronger relationships. You'll attract like-minded people who share your values. And you'll create a community of support and encouragement that will help you become the best version of yourself. So let's make a commitment today. Let's commit to living with integrity. Let's commit to respecting ourselves and others. Let's commit to cultivating empathy and self-awareness. And let's commit to creating a world where respect is the norm, not the exception. The power to earn respect lies within you. Use it wisely and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. Now imagine being that person walking through life without any clue how your words and actions affect others. Picture You're constantly offending people, pushing them away, and you don't even realize it. How do you think that impacts your relationships, your ability to earn respect? Without self-awareness, it's like driving with your eyes closed. You can't see the road ahead. You don't know when to turn, and eventually you crash. Self-awareness is the foundation of personal growth and development. It's what gives you the ability to look in the mirror and say, this is where I am, and this is where I need to improve. It's the key to understanding your own strengths and weaknesses, and more importantly, knowing how your actions affect the world around you. When you're self-aware, you're able to see yourself objectively. You can step outside of your own head and understand how your behavior is impacting the people around you. You know when your tone of voice has shifted. You recognize when your attitude's gotten a little off. You can make adjustments when necessary. It's not about being perfect. It's about having the humility to know when you're wrong and the courage to correct it. And that's powerful. But let's be real here. Self-awareness doesn't come naturally from most people. It's a skill you've got to develop, cultivate over time. It's not just about sitting in a room by yourself, meditating on your life. It's about being willing to hear the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about seeking out feedback from the people who care about you, the people who are going to be real with you, and making changes when you need to. And when you do that, the payoff is massive. You become a better communicator. You're able to lead more effectively, whether that's at work, in your family, or within your circle of friends. You build stronger, more meaningful relationships. And here's the best part: you start to create a life that aligns with who you truly are, not just who you pretend to be. If you want to earn respect, it starts with self-awareness. If you don't know yourself, how can you expect other people to truly know or respect you? Take the time to understand your thoughts, your feelings, and how they show up in the world. Don't be afraid to ask for feedback. And when someone tells you something about yourself that doesn't sit well with you, instead of getting defensive, ask yourself, is there truth in what they say? Can I use this to grow? That's the kind of mindset that earns respect, not just because you're forcing it, but because you've earned it through your actions. I know it's not easy. None of this is easy. Cultivating habits like integrity, self-respect, empathy, and self-awareness takes work. It requires you to be vulnerable, to look at yourself honestly and be willing to change. But the rewards are worth it. When you live with integrity, when you respect yourself and others, and when you live with empathy, you become a beacon of light in a world that sometimes feels dark. People start to gravitate toward you because they see something different in you. You inspire others just by showing up as your authentic self. The beautiful thing about respect is that it's not something you have to compete for. It's not like there's a limited amount. And if someone else gets respect, that means there's less for you. Respect multiplies. The more respect you give, the more you receive in return. It creates a cycle of kindness, compassion, and understanding that touches everyone around you. It's like throwing a pebble into a pond. The ripples spread far beyond the initial impact. So today I challenge you to take a good hard look at yourself. Ask yourself if you're living with integrity. Are you respecting yourself and others? Are you practicing empathy and self-awareness? And if you find that you're falling short, don't beat yourself up. Personal growth is a journey, not a destination. It's about taking small steps every day to become a better version of yourself. Start by being honest with yourself and with others, even when it's tough. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion, just like you would treat a dear friend. Take the time to listen to people, to really hear what they're saying and understand their point of view. And if you're lucky enough to have people in your life who love you and care about your growth, seek out their feedback. Use it to become better. When you make these habits a part of your everyday life, respect will follow naturally. It won't be something you have to chase. It'll be something you attract because of the way you show up in the world. You'll start to notice that people treat you differently. They'll want to be around you. They'll value your opinions. And they'll respect your perspective. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. I know some of you are thinking, but I've been trying to earn respect for years, and it hasn't worked. I get it, earning respect isn't easy and it doesn't happen overnight. But when you practice these habits of integrity, self-respect, empathy, and self-awareness, you'll start to see a shift. It might start small, with a co-worker who listens a little more intently when you speak, or a friend who goes out of their way to show you support. But over time, those small shifts add up. You'll notice that people are more willing to work with you, to collaborate, and to treat you with the respect and dignity you deserve. And here's something important: earning respect isn't just about what you get from others. It's about what you give to the world. When you live with integrity, when you treat yourself and others with respect, you become a force for good in the world. You make a positive impact on the people around you, and you create a legacy that will endure long after you're gone. Think about some of the most respected people in history, folks like Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, and Mother Teresa. They weren't perfect, but they lived with a deep commitment to integrity, compassion, and service to others. They inspired millions of people to be better, to live with more kindness and purpose, and their impact is still felt today. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a world-renowned leader or a saint to earn respect. But what I am saying is that when you live your life with purpose and intention, when you make these habits a non-negotiable part of who you are, you start to create a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. So how do you start? The first step is getting clear on your values and your priorities. What's most important to you? What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of impact do you want to have on the world? Once you've got that clear, the next step is aligning your actions with those values. That means being honest, even when it's uncomfortable. It means treating yourself with kindness, even on the tough days. It means really listening to people, even when you disagree. And it means being willing to seek out feedback and make changes when necessary. I won't sugarcoat it. There will be times when you fall short. There will be times when you mess up, when you hurt someone or let someone down. But that's not the end of the road. Personal growth is about progress, not perfection. When you make a mistake, take a step back, reflect on what happened, learn from it, and then get back on track. Remember, you're not in this alone. There are countless people out there who are on the same journey, working to become better, striving to make a positive impact. One of the best things you can do for yourself is to surround yourself with like-minded people. Seek out mentors, coaches, friends who lift you up and hold you accountable. Join communities where growth is valued, and most importantly, surround yourself with people who inspire you to be your best. Another thing that helps in this journey is practicing gratitude. When you take the time to appreciate the good things in your life, whether it's a meaningful job, a supportive friend, or even just a beautiful day, you start to shift your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. Gratitude changes your mindset. It helps you see the world through a lens of abundance, not scarcity. When you regularly practice gratitude, you show up differently. You become more patient, more compassionate, and more willing to give others the benefit of the doubt. You start to see the best in people even when they're having a tough time. And that creates a ripple effect, a culture of respect, understanding, and appreciation that touches everyone around you. Cultivating these habits doesn't just impact your personal life, it touches every part of your life, including your professional relationships, your community, and the broader world. Use your influence to create positive change. Speak up when something's wrong, even when it's uncomfortable. Use your platform to advocate for justice, equality, and the things that matter to you. Volunteer, mentor, make a difference in your community. When you live with purpose and integrity, you leave behind a legacy that will continue to inspire others long after you're gone. This journey isn't easy, but the rewards are immense. Respect is just one part of it. The real reward is a life you create, a life of purpose, integrity, and impact. So start today. Let's live with intention, with respect, and let's create a world where kindness, compassion, and respect are the norms, not the exceptions. Because when we all commit to this, there's no limit to what we can achieve. What if the key to discovering your true self isn't in what others say or do, but in the steps you take alone? Have you ever thought about the power of walking alone? It's more than just a stroll. It's a journey into yourself. When you walk alone, you discover things about yourself that you never knew were there. You don't just move forward physically. You grow mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Walking alone is a declaration of independence, a reminder that your journey doesn't need validation from others. Think about this. When was the last time you stepped away from the crowd, away from the noise, and just walked? No distractions, no expectations, just you. Walking alone gives you that opportunity to reconnect with yourself and uncover strength you didn't know you had. Today we're exploring 4 incredible benefits of walking alone. Each step you take on your own is a step towards strength, clarity, and purpose. So, let's dive into why walking alone isn't a lonely act. It's a powerful tool for transformation. And by the end of this, you'll see why the most important journey you'll ever take is the one you take with yourself. 1. Walking alone strengthens your purpose. Have you ever felt like you're running on autopilot, pulled in 100 different directions? Walking alone gives you the chance to pause, to breathe, and to reconnect with your purpose. It's in those moments of solitude that your mind starts to clear, and your priorities come into focus. When you're surrounded by others, their voices can drown out your inner voice. But when you walk alone, you hear yourself clearly. Walking alone is like a personal meeting with yourself. As you move step by step, you're not just covering distance. You're peeling back the layers of noise and distraction. Each step becomes a moment of introspection, a chance to ask yourself, what do I really want? What am I really working toward? Purpose doesn't just appear, it's uncovered in quiet moments like these. And here's the beautiful thing. Walking alone reminds you that your path doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It's yours, and yours alone. Every step forward is a declaration. I am on my own journey, and I am proud of it. You start to realize that you don't need validation from anyone else to pursue your dreams. The world might not always understand your path, but walking alone teaches you that it's okay. They don't need to. It's during those solitary walks that your purpose becomes unshakable. You strengthen your resolve to keep going, even when the road gets tough. Walking alone teaches you to own your vision, even if no one else sees it yet. It gives you the courage to take the road less traveled, trusting that it leads to your unique destination. So, the next time you feel lost or unsure, take a walk alone. Let your steps reconnect you with what truly matters. Let them remind you that your purpose is worth every effort, every sacrifice, and every solitary stride. 2. Walking alone unveils your resilience. Have you ever thought about how strong you really are? When you walk alone, you come face to face with your resilience. It's just you and the road ahead. No one to lean on, no one to guide you. And in that solitude, you realize something powerful. You're capable of standing tall, even when no one is watching. Every step you take alone is proof of your inner strength. It's not about how fast you walk or how far you go. It's about showing up for yourself. It's about saying, I can do this, even when it's hard. Walking alone mirrors life's challenges. Sometimes the path is smooth. Sometimes it's rocky. But each step forward shows your ability to endure. Think back to a time when life threw something tough your way. Maybe it was heartbreak, a setback, or a moment of self-doubt. How did you get through it? Walking alone reminds you that you've already overcome so much. Each step becomes a celebration of your resilience. A reminder that you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. Resilience isn't built when things are easy. It's forged in moments of solitude and struggle. When you walk alone, you prove to yourself that you don't need anyone else to keep moving forward. And that realization is liberating. It's not about pushing people away. It's about knowing that your strength comes from within. Walking alone teaches you that every small victory counts, and that progress isn't always visible to others. But it matters deeply to you. It's in those solitary moments that you realize your power doesn't rely on external validation, but on your own determination. So the next time you face a challenge, remember your solitary walks. Remember the strength it took to put one foot in front of the other, even when no one was cheering you on. Let those walks be your proof. You've got what it takes to keep going, no matter what life throws at you. Because every step, no matter how small, is a step toward the life you're building. 3. Walking alone prepares you. Have you ever wondered how you can truly prepare for the unexpected challenges of life? Walking alone is more than a physical activity. It's training for your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. Life is full of moments where you'll have to stand on your own. And walking alone is your rehearsal for those moments. When you walk alone, you sharpen your ability to focus and make decisions without external influence. It's in those quiet steps that you learn to trust your instincts. You realize that you don't need someone else's input to decide your next move. Walking alone prepares you to face life with confidence, clarity, and independence. Think of it this way. Every walk alone is a practice run for the bigger journey of life. It teaches you to embrace uncertainty and adapt to whatever comes your way. The solitude gives you space to reflect, to plan, and to prepare mentally for the challenges ahead. It's like building a toolbox for your mind. Each step adds a new tool to help you navigate the twists and turns of life. Preparation isn't just about planning. It's about mindset. Walking alone teaches you that you're capable of handling what's to come. It reminds you that you've faced uncertainty before, and you can do it again. And when the big moments arrive, the decisions, the risks, the opportunities, you'll be ready. Those solitary walks also give you the mental strength to stay grounded when chaos surrounds you. They teach you to thrive in unpredictability, building confidence in your ability to face life's storms. So, don't underestimate the power of those solitary walks. They're more than just a break from the noise. They're your secret weapon for life. They prepare you not just to survive, but to thrive in the face of challenges. Let each step be a reminder that every moment of preparation makes you stronger, wiser, and more equipped for the road ahead. Thea, walking alone, opens you to courage and clarity. Have you ever wondered where courage comes from? It doesn't come from others. It comes from within. And walking alone is one of the most powerful ways to uncover it. It takes courage to be alone with your thoughts, to face your fears without the comfort of distraction. But in that courage, you find clarity. Walking alone is like stepping into a space where the world quiets down, and your inner voice gets louder. It's in those moments of solitude that you see yourself more clearly. You start to understand your fears, your desires, and your strengths. And with that understanding comes clarity about who you are and what you truly want. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to face it. And walking alone gives you the chance to do just that. It's a reminder that you don't need a crowd to feel strong. You don't need others to validate your worth. You are enough, just as you are. Think about how much clarity you could gain if you just gave yourself the space to think, to reflect, to dream. Walking alone gives you that space. It's like hitting pause on the chaos of life and pressing play on your inner wisdom. It's in those walks that you realize courage isn't about being fearless. It's about moving forward despite the fear. You start to trust yourself more deeply, knowing that the answers you seek are already within you. And here's the best part. The courage and clarity you find on those walks don't stay there. They follow you into every aspect of your life. They show up in your decisions, your relationships, and your goals. Walking alone not only helps you process your emotions, but also gives you the freedom to explore new perspectives. You begin to notice things you might have overlooked before, not just in the world around you, but within yourself. It's as if the rhythm of your steps unlocks a deeper understanding of who you are and who you want to become. This kind of clarity doesn't just help you solve problems. It helps you build a vision for your future. When you embrace the courage of solitude, you also build the confidence to stand by your choices, even if they go against the grain. You stop needing approval because you've learned to approve of yourself. Walking alone reminds you that you don't need to have all the answers right now. You just need the courage to keep asking the right questions. Each step you take is a quiet affirmation. I am capable. I am strong. I am enough. So the next time you're feeling lost or uncertain, take a walk alone. Let the quiet guide you to answers you didn't even know you were searching for. Let it remind you of your strength and your courage. And most importantly, let it show you that clarity isn't something you find. It's something you create, one step at a time. With each walk, you're not just moving forward. You're growing into the person you were always meant to be. Walking alone is not just about moving forward. It's about moving inward. It's a journey into your purpose, your strength, and your courage. Each step is an opportunity to grow, to heal, and to reconnect with yourself. So the next time life feels overwhelming, take that walk. Leave behind the noise, the doubt, and the distractions. Because in those moments of solitude, you're not just walking, you're transforming. You're becoming the person you were always meant to be. Remember, the most powerful journeys aren't the ones we take with others. They're the ones we take alone. Take that first step today, and let the power of walking alone lead you to your best self. If you've made it this far, drop a 100 in the comments. It shows you are part of the 1% that's improving every single day.